Out of Colorado this morning. Good morning to you, Michelle.
Good morning, Gretchen.
Great to see you. Let's talk a little bit about this report that has come out this morning that says a group of GOP elites are going to plan to meet in Texas either this week or next. And what they're meeting about is to try and seek a consensus conservative candidate. In other words, who should they go behind, I guess, between Gingrich, Santorum, or Perry? What do you think about this?
Well, I think you have to consider the source of some of these stories. First of all, I question the use of the term elites. Many of those people who will be meeting are grassroots conservative, movement conservative leaders over the last several decades, many of them who've operated outside of the Beltway. And I think this is key, that it's not just members of the Beltway GOP establishment who are unhappy with some of the front runners, but people across the country who've seen the GOP primary season as something of a pageant of the imperfects or a parade of the flawed, botches and gaffes. I think the question is whether it's way too late in the game to do something like this. But there's been so much uncertainty and so many unprecedented things that have happened in this season. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I can also tell you that this isn't the only meeting that's happening like this. I mean, I've been invited to meetings like this to try and ponder these kind of things. But the point, I think, especially with the Iowa caucus results, is that politics is not softball, and it requires a massive amount of organizational competence that, unfortunately, some of these candidates have not been able to demonstrate.
Well, unless something crazy happens in New Hampshire, Mitt Romney's going to win that. That would mean he would have won the first two contests in this. Nobody has ever done that on the Republican side. So at the end of the day, if Mitt Romney is the guy, are these people having these secret meetings not going to support him?
Well, I think in the end, those of us who have opposed the age of Obama, the reign of Obama, are going to go with the most viable conservative alternative. And the question that many of these grassroots leaders are asking is whether there's somebody, even late in the game, who could withstand the scrutiny and the vetting that these other candidates have not been able to do. And I'm not writing any alternatives off at this point, and I certainly disagree, even with the amount of success that Mitt Romney has, that he's an inevitability. There are no inevitabilities in politics.
Right. If you were to believe that, then Newt Gingrich, who said he basically was going to get the nomination a week ago, he made it sound inevitable, and now he's plummeting quick.
He's learning.
Yes. All right. Let's talk about something that I know you're not a big Senator John McCain fan. Anyone who follows you knows that. But yesterday, where he's a rock star in 2000 and 2000. When he was running against President Bush, he won New Hampshire. When he was running against everybody else to get the nomination, he won New Hampshire. Yesterday, he made it official. His ex-enemy is now his friend. Listen.
Look, I'll match my record as a fiscal conservative and fighting for the taxpayers of my state and America against anybody. I will match my record by the people who make these judgments against anybody in the Republican Party today. So I'm always a little bit intrigued by this, quote, moderate label. It's fine with me, but I am very proud of being a strong fiscal and social conservative.
So that was what John McCain had said to me when I said that, you know, he is supporting the other moderate in this race. Many people believe Mitt Romney being a moderate. And he's saying, no, look, I'm conservative. Look at my record. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I would even disagree with the label moderate, because he's shown himself to be a liberal Republican on so many issues. And I think the problem with the last election, and Brian and I have talked about this over the years since he lost, since McCain lost, that that his problem was he didn't pose a stark enough contrast to Obama big government policies. And I have a longer memory than a lot of people, and it was McCain who had proposed a much larger and more massive mortgage entitlement program during the campaign season, $300 billion, I believe it was, along with many other government interventions. So I think it's painful to watch him make an argument that he's a fiscal conservative who is able to assess the electability of Mitt Romney. As the American Spectator's Jim Antle put it yesterday on Twitter, and there was a lot of face palming and head desking going on as we were watching. this joint appearance. It's sort of funny for this guy who lost the last election to be trying to persuade us that Mitt Romney is electable.
Well, the woman who was at John McCain's side was the very conservative Sarah Palin. Here she is, I don't know if you saw her last night on the Hannity program, telling folks why this endorsement by John McCain of Mitt Romney is important.
Senator McCain and I, we're the only ones in America who have ever had to face that Obama presidential ticket machine and all that it encompassed. And what it encompassed really was, you know, this unscrupulous, gimmicky scheme that it was. And Senator McCain evidently has chosen Mitt Romney as the one to be most prepared to face this thuggery, this scheme that he's going to have to face.
What do you think?
She does have the experience, and so does he.
Well, McCain was steamrolled by that machine. I think that we also have to remember that it was Sarah Palin, the stronger person on that ticket, who was the one that really confronted directly that machine. And I think Sarah Palin's endorsement would matter a lot more these days than John McCain's, and I think it's telling, of course, that she hasn't weighed in one way or the other on a specific candidate.
Yeah, that's
will
interesting.
someday.
That's interesting, because she and McCain may be at odds on who they would endorse this time around. Michelle Malkin, thanks so much for joining us early. We'll see you again next week.
Always a pleasure. Take care, guys.
Happy New Year.
All right, next.